Is it possible to live a longer quality life after a heart disease diagnosis? We are the patients who have resolved to become healthier, both physically and mentally. From managing symptoms to managing side effects, from managing medication to managing finances. We share the challenges and the triumphs. Discover what it really means to survive and thrive with a heart condition. This is Living with Heart Disease, a Heart of a Giant production. Here is our host, Somane Bouba.
Welcome everyone. So not every day as a giant, I talk to another giant. So today we have another giant who also lives in Boston. I think you're 6'8". We're looking forward to talking about this journey. We have a very similar journey, including the LVAD, and now he has a transplant. So we'll go through a few of the ups and downs, but also some of the beautiful moments which I've been able to follow through Instagram. But yeah, so I think it's better that the guest introduces himself and give us all your full names, including your nickname and some of the businesses you do. So welcome, Mr. George, and tell us about who we're talking to and who's Boak and all of that.
Hi, my name is George Boakye-Yiadom. I work for a company called Fathers Uplift. It's a mental health outpatient clinic that serves primarily fathers and their families. And I'm one of the coaches there. And another thing I do as well, I'm also a fashion designer, and I have a company called Boak. And also another thing I do on the side is technology consultant through my other company, the Boak Group LLC, which I've been doing for years now. So that's just a little bit about me.
Hi, welcome, and tell us about maybe your family and stuff. We saw some beautiful pictures.
My beautiful wife, Ivy, and then I have 3 kids. I have a 12-year-old, and then I have my son, Akwesi Jr., and then I have my youngest one who is 8 months, Kwame.
Wow, that's you are. I used to tell people, people usually ask me, well, how do you do all of this? And you still have to deal with your heart condition. I don't know if it's a size thing, but like you have a lot going on. Like you have 3 kids, a family, like almost three kind of professional lives, which are not necessarily related, but they're connected because I feel like the creativity goes through technology, and then you're a father yourself, supporting other fathers. So it's a great. You're doing a lot, and I think it's as a member of the community, I totally appreciate that. But you also had patient, and then and you've been living with the LVAD for 6-7 years, and you recently got a transplant. So that's a lot. But we'll try to have a few moments to dissect it and touch on a few things.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So I wanted to kind of go back in time and see a little bit when did this all started? Like when did we know? When did we find out that you had a heart condition?
Yeah. So my journey was extremely fast. So I was it happened in the year 2015. I actually was playing professionally basketball in Russia. And then anytime I came back to the States, I always visited my mom for like a month before I go to Atlanta to go train. So when I came back, I was visiting my mom, and then, I was still working out. I was going to the gym. So one morning I was on my way to the gym, and I just had like this really sharp pain in my chest, and it went all the way through my back. So I got out the car, and I was walking. I was like, this is fine. It'll go away. But then I started feeling horrible, and some guy saw me. He's like, hey, man, you okay? And for some odd reason, like, he just called the ambulance. And since then, like, they're like, yeah, you have heart failure. You have an ejection fracture of like 3%. And this was in June. Of 2015. And then I rapidly became worse. I was in the hospital. I became work, and by end of October, I needed an LVAD because it said my heart couldn't sustain itself. So it happened in a short amount of time, like in a few months, where I went from normal to like needing something to support my heart. So they had me on a balloon pump for a few days till the insurance will authorize the LVAD, because usually they give you 6 months or more before they can authorize the LVAD. Like they never got a case where somebody would need an LVAD that fast. It was very quick. It was extremely quick.
And then this happened, and at some point I'm like, thanks God it happening at home, right? Like where your family is.
Yeah.
How was that for you? Like, it's like in my head I go through all this.
Mentally, it was damaging. Like to go from like working out twice a day, like that being your life, how you make your money, to like could never play basketball again, and like to figure out something else to do. And on top of that, in a short amount of time, like you usually, I mean, from what I learned, like people with heart failure usually learn and then they get on some medication and they're like, hey, the medication is not working. These are the alternatives. So it'll be like a year or some change before like they actually get. Mine was like 2 months. So it was just very difficult. I went to a lot of stages of depression and just like feeling my self-worth was extremely low. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
How did you kind of deal with that? Like, I don't know if Ivy was in the picture then, but like your parents, your family, how do you deal with that? Like,
Yeah, Ivy was definitely in the picture. And if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be where I'm at today, because she's the one that looked for a therapist for me. And she found the CEO of Fathers Uplift, Charles Daniels. So Charles is the one that helped me really become what I am today. And he kind of took me as a mentor instead of like his client. I mean, he was my mentor, and he helped me become who I am today. So if it wasn't for Ivy, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at. So I thank God for her. It wasn't easy. She didn't give me a choice, and I don't want to lose her, so I'm like, I'll do it. But I went, and it changed my life, definitely.
yeah, it's amazing because
It was a good thing.
you're going through this great physical change, but that's, how we look at it. But your cure technically is like, it was a mental aspect, which, like you said, allowed you to rebuild yourself, and all of that. But yeah, you go straight from this life to living with the LVAD, with all the challenges like you mentioned, insurance approving and all the delays. And this was 2015, so it's still the early days of LVAD, as a treatment. But what was life like with the LVAD? Like, because it's an adjustment. Now you have we won't go into the detail of the LVAD, but like you have a tube coming out of your tummy and you cannot walk around. And you have risk and stuff. So how was that like?
It was an adjustment. It was an adjustment because you can't take showers every day. Like, you just can't get up and go. Also, you can't stay out for a very long time because you run off batteries. You need to be able to charge yourself. You can't go in the woods. You can't go camping. I mean, you can, but that's a high risk. You definitely cannot swim. And so it's a lot of things you can't do. And like, you always got to, like, even when you go out, like, to like with your friends, you got to be like, yo, carry one battery in your pocket for me. Yeah, like my friends like, yo, give me a battery. The other friend had the other battery, and I had the extra controller. So it was like,
How heavy was the batteries? And also, how much autonomy did you have?
4 to 6 hours on each battery.
Oh my God. Like my battery I have is 17 hours, right? So if I put it on at 7 a.m.
Wow.
until 8 a.m. Sorry, until midnight, right? So what you're saying now is crazy because that means every errands you have. Yeah. So now that you say that way, that's a lot. I didn't know that. I didn't know that it was just 4 hours.
Yeah, and the batteries are pretty heavy, 2, 3 pounds. Yeah, like they're really heavy batteries, and they don't last long, and they deplete. I had to replace my batteries by year 3. So yeah, but I did travel to Ghana with my LVAD though. It was good. They gave me a LVAD charger that was European and gave me extra 6 batteries. So I had 12 batteries with me just in case like the lights went off. I'll still have batteries. And it was fun going with an LVAD. That was like year 4, so I was used to it.
How was that? Like showing up with this device. I'm trying to picture people at the airport. Back home, I'm from Africa, so I'm trying to like picture that scene where this guy shows up with like gun looking.
They're like, they were very empathetic because I speak my own language, so I explained to them what it was. They were like, "Oh my God, I'll pray for you." So like stuff like that, like everything will work out. Don't worry. Yeah, stuff like that. So they were very. It was very important. It was important because it was also like me and my wife's wedding. So we did our traditional and our white wedding. It was very important and it went really well. And we're going back this year. So yeah, this year we're going back to Ghana.
So that'd be special for them too. Like you go with them, right?
Yes, definitely. Yes. Yeah.
Man, that's quite a story because those are some of the frustration with live with the Elva. The people have those questions. Like you said, there's a lot of things you can't do. And I'm sure there's not a lot of people that, travel with the Elva to Ghana, and that's like, how long is that flight again? Yeah. That's probably, it's a long flight and you probably have a layover.
So I like to stay in Portugal for like a few days before I go back to Ghana. So I cut it in half. So I travel to Portugal. I think that's like 5, 6 hours. Then I stay in Portugal and then I go to Ghana. That's another like 5, 6 hours. I did that because of the LVAD. I had to charge up, but I still would want to do that again because I just like Portugal. Lisbon, it's a really nice place.
Yeah.
They have good food. It's nice people. It was very chill. Yeah.
Nice. That's amazing because you have, you are, and you mentioned all the life you have, but you're going through, this LVAD journey. You're seeing a therapist who's helping you. So how was that rebuilding process? How did you come, I mean, you were playing professional basketball, so I'll assume you didn't have a lot of time for other things. But how did you start picking up all these activities? Like, now you're a counselor, you're a coach, you're fashion designer, technology consultant. So how did you kind of rebuild that life, and how was that? What was that process like?
So I always was into fashion, but I didn't know it. Like I used to always want to dress nice. I always wanted to be innovative, but I really got into it when I got my LVAD because I couldn't find shirts that would hide my LVAD because I was very insecure about it. So there was no shirts that could cover it and it looked big. It made me look weird and I like to look nice. So I started putting zippers on the side of my shirts. Ivy, my wife, told me how to sew. So I started putting zippers on the side of my shirt so that the shirt could open up so it would be able to cover the LVAD. I started with that and then I started putting like kente on the side of the shirts stuff. And then it just went from that to like, wow, I know how to sew now. I want to do more. And I just started doing a whole bunch of stuff. And it just turned into like one of my friends was like, "Hey, can you make me a shirt?" And I was like, "No." He's like, "Please." So I made my first shirt, and then since then, like I just came up with like a whole bunch of stuff that I wanted to do, crazy ideas. Started sewing it with Ivy. She helped me out, and I had my first fashion show, and then everybody liked it, and then I got to have a fashion show at the MFA, and then I did the ICA, and then I was just doing a whole like I even did a few fashion shows with a few people, and it just turned into something big. I didn't think it was gonna be,
Yeah.
but people really liked the stuff.
So you were just following your heart,
Yeah,
and then putting in the work, and next thing is like amazing. But I'm so amazed by your team, like your support system. Your friend that asked you for the T-shirt, obviously your wife supporting you. That's amazing. Yeah.
yeah. I have a really good support system. Uh, yeah, and as for working, like doing my technology stuff, it just came from 2016. I started a company. Like actually, my mentor advised me to start a company, and I'm a person that I always find ways. Like I might not be the smartest, but I know how to get the smartest people. So I was like, that's a skill of mine. So I just use it as consulting, and I used to help people, and I get them to people that that they need and what they need to get done. And it's just been very lucrative for me because, like, if anybody needs anything, they come to me. I make sure everything gets done. It's kind of like a job that it holds substance, but you can't really explain it. Like, and people be like, why do I need you to help me if I could find this myself? Because I find the best people, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an engineer, and I can definitely accept that because it's everything we do at the end of the day is about people, right? And it's about those relationships. So what I'm hearing is that you have your leader, right, and you have good relationships, and then you like to get things done, and somebody can go get it themselves and then spend 10 hours, and like you said, you can get the right person that will do it in 2 minutes, and it's different things, but it's not high school, or it's not even college where you have to be like, I'm the best, get the numbers. It's about getting things done and literally, making people money, saving time, saving energy. So
Yes.
if somebody doesn't see your value in that role, like facilitating that, they just don't know how business or life even works, right? So like I'm not like, if I need, we just bought a house, like a new house now, and if I need anything, I'll start with the realtor we talk to. I'm like, hey, do you know a plumber? Or you go to the contractor, you're like, hey, do you know this person? And they'll be the contractor, and then but that's one phone call. You don't have to go through Yelp and do all of that, So what you do is amazing, and it's super valuable. And it's impressive to me because it's like you have a life before and after heart disease, right? Like after the onset. When you look back now, what do you think about that? Like, I don't know, like in terms of accomplishment and terms, it's great being a professional basketball player. It's cool, right? But how do you even measure those two lives? And I'm saying that
I measure those two lives because it's like my wife never seen that life where me playing basketball, you know, all she knows is this other guy. She doesn't know. So and also me having two sons, I want to introduce them to basketball. And the best way to do that is for them to watch you do it, and because I don't want to like push it on them. I want them to naturally want to do it. And the only way they kids always want to do what their parents do.
in most cases, but they can still pick it up. You can still make them fall in love with basketball.
Yeah, definitely. But like the way I look at it is like if they're around me working out, you know, playing in the games, eventually they're gonna be like, I want to do what dad does, naturally. But like, and I definitely want to play basketball again. So my goal is to join a winter league in November. So I'm just working out, trying to get ready for that.
Are you taking it easy though? You just been, it's like 8 months post transplant.
I
So
know I'm taking it very easy, like because I get blood work and they're like, "Hey, are you lifting too much weights? We see your levels are going up. I need you to relax." But I am taking it easy. But like that's one of my goals.
it's a great goal, and I think it's a goal that will help you push. But this is my coach part, right? So just remember, if you do it this winter or the next winter, you'll still be great. So make sure you listen to your body, in the process.
Definitely.
Now, as far as the kids, I think being like I'm not about. I love basketball, of course, and I love soccer, and boys are girls too, but kids are very interesting. They watch you, like you said. Doing the work with you will be great, but you can make them fall in love with it. I have kids that they just see us watch games. I forgot to tell you, I'm half Senegalese, right? So African champion, right?
Yeah, they did pretty good.
Guess I just had to throw that in there. But they love it so much that they'll play soccer and stuff, but they didn't even know what soccer was about, but they just love the idea. So I feel like you can still make them do that. Well, I had a similar moment where my kid was learning to swim, and I love swimming. Like I remember it was me and my dad swimming and going underwater, doing all the stuff, scuba diving and stuff. So that moment I was like, shoot, I cannot do this. But I remember one day, my kid, the coach wasn't there and couldn't swim. So I put a vest on him, like a life vest on him, and then put him in the water, got a noodle, and then, he will swim and I'll push him forward, up and down the thing. And I had my friend next door, in case he needed to jump in. But I just needed to do it, right? It wasn't like the smartest idea, but I can appreciate what you're saying. It's very important that you and your sons share those moments. So I hope that, in a couple of months you'll be playing and they'll be taking on you soon. So I hope you're ready for them challenging you.
I know, right?
That's the next goal. They will challenge you and take over. No, I love it. I think I wanna move into this last segment where about the health, and we'll look at some of the memories. So you've been on the LVAD for, how long were you on the LVAD for? And then now, how did you move to?
6 years.
6 years. So 6 years up to when? When did the transplant happen, and how did that come about?
So the transplant happened last October, the end of October 2021. And it happened on the last day of when I was going to leave the hospital. So they told me that there's really nothing they could do. Well, they didn't say it like that, but pretty much that's what they said. There's really nothing they can do. They're going to discharge me and I just have to wait. And around 12 a.m., they woke me up and they were like, hey, we got a heart for you and we have to prep you for a heart transplant. So I called my wife and I told her, and she was so happy, started crying and everything. So.
Wait, you didn't cry?
Me? Nah, I didn't. I felt like I was going through another basketball game. I had to prepare myself mentally. It wasn't like a cry moment for me. It was more like, okay, you're going to have to learn how to walk again. You're going to be real weak. Like, this is about to be a process. So I got to prepare myself. So I was focused because, it happens real quick. Like, they tell you at 12, by 3 a.m., you're getting.
My God.
I don't know how long it took, but I think it felt like 2 days, where I guess it was like 24 hours or a day surgery. I woke up mid-surgery. It felt like
they had to remove the LVAD and put in a new heart, but then how long were you kind of down for? Like, I know that the induced coma in some cases and stuff. So when did you wake up? How many days after did you wake up?
I think 2 days, because they left my chest open for I don't know, for a few hours, or they couldn't close it, but they left it open for a little bit before they closed it. And then they incubated me for a few days, and then I just woke up.
That's gruesome, though. That's rough. Like the intubation one, I remember that was the worst for me. Like that children's, I'll pull it out. I was trying to pull out mine when I woke up.
Yeah, I woke up mid-surgery trying to pull my tube out. Yeah, I was fighting the doctors. I remember because they had these masks on, and all you could see is their eyes, and I was just fighting them. So I don't know if they're like, yeah, man, you woke up mid-surgery trying to get up with your chest open and all this. And I was like, Jesus Christ. It's scary.
Oh, man. It's like good and happy memories because you don't remember, right? Like, you're not there. Like, I had people telling me other nurses telling me, "Oh, you're that guy that was fighting the nurses, the doctors."
Yeah.
And I'm like, it sounds like me, but like, also being a big person is like,
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think because being big, they don't give us enough anesthesia. So I woke up trying to fight the doctors. Like, it was crazy. So they had me strapped to the bed. Yeah,
oh wow,
because I kept moving.
that's crazy. Yeah, they don't want to overdo it too
Mhm.
because it's tricky. But
Yeah.
I think being tall has its own, being big has its own challenges. Yeah,
Mhm.
and but you got the transplant, and how long were you in the hospital for? And when, like you say, you had to learn to walk again and do all of that. In some cases, I know people learn to talk and all of that.
I was in the hospital for 2 months, and then my kidneys was failed. My kidneys failed. Obviously, they gave me diabetes, so I had to go to. My kidneys started working. I did dialysis for like a week, and then it started working again. But I'm still dealing with this diabetes stuff, and it's really annoying because I'm still on prednisone. So
It's trade-offs, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
so I really want to get rid of this diabetes because it really messes with a lot of stuff. Yeah, I'm making a little bit of progress. I notice when I work out like a lot, my diabetes kind of regulates itself. But when I don't work out, it kind of shoots back up. So I just got to find a healthy balance.
And
Yeah.
how's the nutrition?
My nutrition has been pretty good. It's been pretty good.
Because I understand the workout is there, but is it not like a nutrition the big part?
Oh, yeah, definitely. That's like the most important part. The nutrition is definitely the most important part. Low sodium, no sugars.
Yeah, and even now, right? Like after the transplant.
Yeah, yeah.
So when did you kind of get back to active life, like go back to work and doing your design and things like that?
I went back to work in February, but I was working virtually, so I just started coming into the office like a few months ago. When it comes to like doing my fashion stuff, I haven't done any fashion shows yet. Or I haven't designed any new things yet. I'm still mentally not there yet, but I am selling my old stuff and people are buying it.
Where can you see that? Where do you get that? Where do you see the old stuff like you sell it? Like is it like do you have a store online? Yeah. Like can you share the links with us?
No, I don't have a store online. But I do sell at different events. Like my next event is at Franklin Park on next Tuesday, where I'm gonna have a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah.
And I have to remind you, you owe me a t-shirt. You owe me a shirt at least.
Yeah, man, I got you. I got you.
I don't know if you have anything my size, but I'm putting on the right. I also owe you a t-shirt from like, whatever, Heart of a Giant. But
Yeah.
you know what I'm gonna do? We have to have an episode where I'll get a shirt. I'll probably come on Tuesday. But we have to have an event where you dress me up like this, like where you guys looking right now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So what was going on there? And I like the caption, of course, but like I'm also stylish for anyone in Boston area, and obviously looking great, looking fresh, and what was going on here. And obviously everybody's like inspirational because they know the backstory. But
So what was going on here was me and my friends, we had a gala to go to. So I made some cummerbunds and bow ties, and then I bought like my favorite type of suits to buy is Talia Orange because they make shoes for big guys, and I really love these shoes. So I bought some for my friend, and then I made the pants, and I just like bought some shoes from Amazon. Like the shoes were like $20, but they look nice, you know. Yeah, and then we just put the whole fit together, and it just looked great. And you can't even see my LVAD. My LVAD's right there.
yeah, I mean, I know you have an Elva, but like you're right, like you won't know, but you can, and it's well set up, and that's something that, like you said, it's very hard to live with an Elva. And then this, I'm assuming, is what was this picture taken? Was this back home? Because like now you're looking like a traffic giant.
This is my wedding, my traditional wedding photo. Yeah, it was taken in Ghana.
That's special, man. I love this one. with safety folks. And then this one I just got intrigued, but I'm assuming it was your mother. I don't know who's the gentleman. It's probably your brother. But what are we looking at?
That's my little brother.
Oh my God, he's taller than you? Wow.
Yeah, he is.
I see mommy's tall, but that's it. Like it's deceiving, right? Because it makes you look like in my head. I had to remember, like, dude, you're tall, so he's like 7 feet, right, or something. And this is, I'm just going, through random pictures I found on Instagram. But what are we looking at here? You mentioned you have a daughter, but I don't know if this is your daughter.
Yeah, this is my daughter. This is when she was like 4.
Oh my God, are you one of those girl dads?
Yeah.
I keep telling people you're the worst.
That's my baby.
Girl dads are the worst. It's like, and it's like no shame. Like this, like you guys don't even deny it. I love it. I love to see it. And here you also had an LVAD, right? Like dancing, killing it. But
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I had an LVAD.
Man, I feel like I found my designer. You gotta hook me up. And then you're also an artist because you do a lot of things. Like here you're doing graffiti. I'm not sure if like you do other art. So like you're a full-fledged artist.
Yeah, I mean, so this came about. I did a photo shoot with somebody that had my clothes on, and then this is like a wall in Cambridge where people do graffiti, and I was just like, you know what? Let me do something small. Yeah.
And you added to it. That's beautiful. I think I might see some of the shots in the picture, and this I like because it's like it's it's still casual, like but I'm assuming you also had the LVAD here. Let me look at it there. It's hard to pull this off, right? It's like it's hard to pull off this kind of outfit with an LVAD. So sometimes being big helps a little bit, but like how you hiding your LVAD here and still looking like fresh, like it's like Havana fresh,
Yeah, I had definitely had my LVAD here.
Yeah. And what was this? A Cambridge show, you said? Yeah.
So this was a shoot I did with one of my friends.
So how is this one now? Like this one is this an old picture or when was this?
Yeah, so this was a picture before my LVAD, like 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah, before my LVAD. This is when I was, I guess, my LVAD, like my heart was failing, but I didn't know. Because I was holding on to a lot of water weight and I didn't know why.
Yeah, so your body was retaining water.
Yeah, it was retaining a lot of water.
Oh my God! So how many pounds did you lose when that happened? Like when the first found out, and I'm sure they put you on a diuretics or something like a water pill. How much did you lose? I remember I lost a lot of pounds like the first time.
I went from 310 to like 240, like in months. Yeah, and it was mostly water.
Dude, that's a lot of weight extra weight to carry around. Because you're still strong and your body's still working hard.
Yeah, I had no idea it was water. I thought it was just me not working out enough.
Yeah, you think you're not doing enough, so you try to do extra.
Yeah.
All right, let me. There's a few more. There's one with the kid that I wanna show, but like this is the wedding. I'm assuming this is in Ghana, and I like the way that you guys set up people from short to tall.
Yeah.
That's cool. And yeah, this is the one I was looking for. That's your son, Boak Jr.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that's my son.
What is it like being a dad to him? Like,
oh, he's amazing. He follows me around everywhere. He's like my mini me. He's a giant himself. People always asking me, why is he not talking? Why is he not talking? Why is your 4 or 5-year-old not talking? I'm like, he's 2.
Yeah.
They're like, oh my God, that's a big baby.
Yeah. All they have to do is look at you, right?
They're like, well, that makes sense. You're tall. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. It's so precious. It's so beautiful. I see. That's your daughter and your first son, and I'm assuming that's Ivy, right? Beautiful family.
Yeah, that's Ivy.
Yeah, and you mentioned create. She's a creative too, because I know she helped you with the work, like your work, but like
she's a real artist.
She's a real artist in the house.
She's a real artist.
You guys make a good team. That's the beauty of it, and you collaborate.
She's my partner for life.
I love it, and then I think that's very important because she saved your life technically. I see a gang here. What's going on? That's it's a cool picture. Was this after the LVAD?
No, yeah, this was after my transplant. This was my first time I went out ever after the transplant, and I'm glad I got to go out with my close friends. Like it was different. I was like, oh my god, I don't have to worry about batteries and all this. It was crazy.
I went to hospital once and somebody was looking at me and I was wondering why. It's like, yeah, no, I had the LVAD like you, like many years ago. And sometimes you forgot the feeling. So it's like, it was just interesting for him to see, the LVAD because, it took him back. So this is special. Like you have to readjust to life, like,
Yeah.
and then now you have this less weight to carry. Your friends don't have to carry batteries for you. How are they like responding to like all the changes you've been through? And I know they're super supportive, but like, how's everything? How's the relationship with them? Has anything changed? And besides being able to join them on all the parties and things like that.
Nah, nothing has changed. The only thing is, I'm just excited to play basketball with them again. Like be on the same team. Like, but I want to take it slow, but like, I'm so eager because that's like something I wanted to do. Just like get back to it. It's like the full circle.
Yeah. I hope they're easy on you.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully.
That's special. I'm really amazed at the love that people show you of Instagram. And it's kind of, for me, it shows that you're a good person. And one of my friends was telling me, like, you get back what you give. So
yes, definitely.
I want to take this moment to really, thank you for that. And obviously, you've been yourself for many years, so keep doing that. We want to be able to, like, I think the world deserves to enjoy you as much as possible and as long as possible. So those are like my last words. But I'm super grateful to talk to you. I'm looking forward to, more of this. But I want to give you the last words and see if you have like any last message and any advice that you might have for, people going through similar experience and also, like to close out, what does it mean to live with a heart disease in your case to you?
Well, one thing I always say is God won't put more on your table than you can handle. Also, always think positive and positive things will come. You think negative, negative things will come. The only difference between a millionaire and a broke person is how they think. So that's all I'm going to leave with.
Man, thank you so much. You are an African giant in the true forms, and then through your being, through your mind, and through your spirit in terms of everything you're doing. So we're grateful. And then, like I said, you're gonna dress me up one day, so we're gonna make that happen.
Yes.
And I look forward to that. Yes. But it's beautiful. I wanna really meet Miss Ivy. I wanna meet your beautiful kids, and I love for you to meet mine because they'll be super wild and have a similar experience. People will look at them and they're like, they're big kids and stuff, but yeah. Thanks so much, man.
We are reminded that we are all connected through our experiences of friends, family, and community. We thank our guests for your generosity of heart, looking beyond your sorrows to share your journeys and inspire others. And thank you for listening to this episode. We hope it did your heart good. Visit us online for more resources at heartofagiant.org.